Prussian land to build drainage swamps for heavy rains and giving land to immigrants in order to expand his territory's food supply in case of emergencies. An estimated 1,000 villages were built during his monarchy, bringing in roughly 300,000 immigrants from other European countries. With upgraded technology, Frederick established new land under a drainage program in Prussia's Oderbruch marshland. This project brought Prussia 150,000 acres of farmland, but had negative effects on natural habitats, eliminating biodiversity and native plants and taking the place of many animal communities. According to Frederick, he was taming nature and it was otherwise useless. This project expanded canals and brought new crops such as potatoes and turnips to the people of Prussia. One of the major good impacts Frederick had on Prussia with the help of his project was the jurisdiction of grain prices, as it kept people from starving after bad harvests. Frederick had great affection for animals, building Germany's first veterinary school, and was against hunting, claiming it was cruel and uneducated. 7. The reformation of currency under Frederick II. Devalued thaler in Prussia was a major problem as the prices of everything were high and unaffordable. 1763, the Mint Edict of May balanced devalued coins that would otherwise be disapproved when it came to tax payment. Under Frederick II, Prussia's currency was reformed, which led to lower and more affordable prices as there was a lack of upfront money. The major negative impacts Frederick II had on Prussia. 1. Frederick's prejudice views towards the Catholic and Jewish people in Prussia. Frederick advocated for Protestantism and prohibited Catholics from attaining higher positions within the state. Frederick had a reputation for being more accepting of Jewish and Catholic people compared to neighboring states, but was known to be anti-Semitic and oppressed Roman Catholic churches in Poland, seizing property and valuables while deploying harsh restrictions and obstructing their administration. Frederick's anti-Semitic remarks were very explicit in many of the statements he made and could have been a reason he was one of Adolf Hitler's idols. Number 2. Extreme censorship under Frederick II. Frederick had allowed Ambrosius Hayud to produce and issue newspapers in both German and French languages, but took these rights away in 1740, stating the reports on war were way too revealing and control over his state was his bigger priority. Throughout Frederick's reign, censorship was a major priority, establishing a censorship commission in 1749, banning the dealing of any harmful and attacking books towards his monarchy. Frederick even paid high amounts of money to have journalists beaten if they went against his rules, since he viewed his image and control in the public arena to be extremely important. Propaganda portrayed by Frederick II. Frederick was well known for propagating information in newspapers for the public. The reason Ambrose Hayud was allowed to write newspapers with information that would otherwise be censored was that Frederick needed a source to distill and get his propaganda to the public. He had connections to publishing houses in the Low Countries located near Rhineland and Switzerland to publish magazines, newspapers, and pamphlets on a regular basis to get his propaganda out to the public. Once Silesia was conquered, he secretly established a Silesian news source that issued propaganda news on Prussian victories and sold merchandise with his name and face. The major positive impacts Frederick II had on Europe. Frederick had many good impacts on Europe as a whole, as the modernization of Prussia motivated and his ideas served as examples and were inhabited by other European countries and monarchs. Under Frederick, domestic trade with other European countries grew at a substantial rate, providing value to Prussian and other European nations. Under his rule, the Prussian primary education system was developed, which inspired and was later adopted by other European countries. He stabilized depreciated coins under the Mint Edict of May, which motivated other monarchs/rulers to also reform their currencies, lowering prices for everything as it led to a shortage of available ready-to-use money in Europe. The major negative impacts Frederick II had on Europe. 1. Frederick II played a large part in the partitions of Poland, leading to the oppression of the Polish people and dissolving the Polish state for over 100 years. The years 1772, 1793, and 1795 were when the three partitions of Poland occurred. all of which were executed by Austria, Russia, and Prussia, causing Poland to decrease in size at significant rates to a point where the country did not exist anymore. This started when Russia went to war with the Ottoman Turks, which resulted in magnificent victories for Prussia, frightening the Austrian Empire and causing them to send threats of war. Frederick wanted to circumvent the advancement of the Russo-Turkish War, therefore decided to make Poland Russia's new target of expansion, as it had weak government and military due to a recent civil war could not withstand any seizures. This all led to the first partition of Poland, as a treaty was signed between Russia, Prussia, and Austria on the division of Polish land in 1772. In 1791, a liberal constitution was formed in Poland which requested the restoration of the Polish constitution. Russia accepted their request and Prussia sent its army to Poland, which led to the second partition of the country. The people of Poland started an uprising against the partitions in 1794, which were suppressed by Prussia and Russia, leading to the third and final partition of Poland, which was resolved in 1795, in which the two superpowers divided the rest of the country in two. Overall, Frederick II stole Polish land, suppressed anyone who tried to intervene, and was responsible for wars that saw innocent Polish citizens/troops get killed. Frederick II's invasion of Silesia and the brutal wars it led to, causing a large number of deaths. Frederick II saw an opportunity and invaded Silesia right after Maria Theresia was handed the throne, which led to the First Silesian War in 1740. This was caused by the Battle of Mollwitz, in which the Austrian forces were defeated by the Prussian army and saw 4,250 Austrians dead and severely wounded. Other European nations also saw benefits and therefore joined, leading to an entire European continent indulging, which started the War of the Austrian Succession, in which an estimated 500,000 people died. 1742, the Treaty of Berlin was signed, which led to the surrender of Silesia to Prussia, which was then disregarded on Frederick's behalf, as he proceeded to invade Bohemia, where he were unfortunately killed. Matters were resolved in 1745 as Silesia was officially Prussian territory, but in 1756, Austria, Russia, and France joined forces which endangered Prussia, causing Frederick to make an alliance with Great Britain. This alliance could have been to take Silesia back, therefore invaded Saxony to lessen the burden of a further war with Austria. The invasion triggered the Third Silesian War, in which 145,000 men were killed or went missing. It also led to the beginning of the 7 Years' War, in which anywhere between 900,000 and 1.4 million people died. More than 1 million people died, hundreds of thousands of which were innocent, all because Frederick's greed for territory and power. Overall, this video's main focus was to understand the positive and negative impacts Frederick II had on Prussia and Europe in detail, to paint a picture in the mind of the viewer, helping him better understand the history. My script and bibliography are attached to the other document. Thank you for listening to my presentation.